Hi, my name is Keely Morley and I am one of the senior pastors of Net Church. And it's such an honour today just to talk to you a little bit about having relationships in our lives and the importance of it. You know, Romans 12:10 talks about being devoted to one another in brotherly love. And the Bible talks a lot about community. It presumes that we're in relationship. And as leaders, it is so important that we are in relationship with one another. And I don't mean just like saying hi at a conference or the occasional phone call. I mean actively, authentic leadership, relationship where we can ask each other the difficult questions, where we can cheer each other on, where we can get wisdom from one another and we can say, I'm going through this situation and I'm really struggling, where we can be honest. And to be devoted to one another in brotherly love, it takes a lot of hard work. It takes commitment, devotion. And I want to encourage you as a leader to actively pursue relationship, actively pursue friendship. You know, you and I know the truth is that there is none of us that are perfect. All of us have our faults, we have our areas of strength, and we have our areas of weakness. And so often when we see weakness in other leaders, that is something that we disqualify other people from being our friends or from speaking into our world. And I want to really encourage you to be bigger leaders than that. I need to be a bigger leader than that. I need to have leaders in my life and friends in my life who are going to challenge me and grow me. And the truth is we all need those Timothy relationships. We need those people who we are discipling and guiding and bringing to spiritual maturity. And we also need our Paul relationships or our Paulings, it doesn't matter what gender they are, who are speaking into our world and discipling us. And we can't just make disciples and not be disciples. And to be disciples, you've got to have people in your world who are going to champion you and challenge you, who are going to speak into your world. Recently I was at a conference and I heard someone who back in the 80s was a very famous communicator internationally, and they fell morally. And in this quiet conference setting, it was just a very intimate setting with just 100 leaders. This leader shared, and he said, the reason I was able to fall was because I was not really accountable to anybody. And there's such a danger in us as leaders not really being accountable with one another, not really being transparent with each other. And Romans 12:10 says, be devoted to one another in brotherly love. You know, we are a spiritual family and we need one another. And I really want to encourage you today as a leader. Don't just go to the occasional Zoom meeting. Don't just go to the conference once a year, but actively and intentionally find leaders in your area that you can have breakfast with, that you can pray together with, that you can share honestly with. Have friendships that will encourage you in the difficult seasons and people that can champion you in the great seasons. You know, let's be leaders that have great relationships in our lives that we model for those that we are leading. And that's my hope and my prayer for you today, that you actively and earnestly find other leaders and other people that you can be devoted to one another in brotherly love.